Joe Mazzulla said something pretty interesting after the Lakers game on Saturday. He said Al Horford is a future Hall of Famer. Do we need to start telling our kids about Hall of Famer Al Horford? As someone who's actually been around for his whole career and watched a lot of Al Horford, I first heard that and I thought, really? It's something I thought about quite briefly after he won his first title last year. And I think I'm comfortable with Al Horford being in the Hall of Very Good. Just a good impact player. The same way we look back on like a Danny Ainge, right? Danny Ainge, good player, man. Good part of championship teams. In 86, you needed a guy like that. But Hall of Famer? No, not a Hall of Famer. But Al Horford makes a case. And it's kind of crazy, but he does make a case. You look through his accomplishments and you're like, really? 5 All-Star teams, 1 All-NBA team. Is there any Hall of Famer who's only made 1 All-NBA team? And I don't have that answer in front of me, but I'll bet you there is. Because what we're dealing with is the Basketball Hall of Fame, which does not have the standards of a Pro Football Hall of Fame or Baseball Hall of Fame, and probably a Hockey Hall of Fame either. I think they're more lenient than any of the other 3. And a big reason why is they take into account stuff outside of the NBA, be it international or college basketball. Those things count. Ask Grant Hill. Grant Hill had a heck of a career in the NBA, probably too injured to be in the Hall of Fame off his NBA career alone. But he also went to 3 national championship games at Duke. He won 2 of them, and he was a National Player of the Year. So that helps tremendously, right? He's a great college player and a pretty damn good NBA one too. So you look at Al Horford and you see 5 All-Star teams, 1 All-NBA team. Oh, yeah. But at Florida, he won back-to-back national championships. He pretty much averaged a double-double his last year there when they defended their national championship and won it again. He gets Defensive Player of the Year votes. He finished 2nd in Rookie of the Year voting behind Kevin Durant. Their rookie year, he's now got a championship. He could well have a 2nd by the time he hangs him up, which would probably be, I'm guessing, at the end of this year. In his age 38 season, he'll be 39 by the time they would play in the finals again if they were to do so. By all measures, Al Horford is a nice player. And if we somehow put it into baseball standards, he's not a Hall of Famer. There's just, you're really going to put a guy in the Hall of Fame who, is averaging 13 points a game for his career, never averaged more than 17 in a game his whole career. It just doesn't feel right, right? It's 13-8 for his career. Center, forward, and those of us who watch him all the time and the Celtics fans, like we appreciate what Al Horford is. We know that he still has tremendous value. Like I still get pissed about, pissed is a strong word, but I still get tickled when broadcasters are like, Al Horford, there are still announcers and coaches who will literally scheme against, all right, let's attack Al Horford. And you can't do it. You can't do it. In fact, the Lakers tried it a bunch on Saturday night when Mazzulla said he's a future Hall of Famer. They isolated him 20 times. There was some wild stat that I don't have in front of me and I should, but they isolated him 20 times and scored, I think, 3 buckets. It was something incredible. It was 0.3 points per possession on that. So it was a little more than 3, but you saw it with Luka last year. I mean, they tried to keep getting in game 1 of the finals. Luka matched up against Al Horford, and Horford had him in a blender, dude. Cut the shit of 38-year-old Al Horford. You're going to rely on him? Yes, I am. He still plays a ton of games. He still plays very effectively. He's still above average 3-point shooter, although that number's gone down this year. He still gives you a ton of good things on both ends of the floor. And then I go to his basketball reference page and I look at his similarity scores. And you go up and down the list. There are some guys that aren't in the Hall of Fame, Bill Laimbeer, Tyson Chandler, but the overwhelming majority is Dikembe Mutombo, Jack Sikma, Vlade Divac, Wes Unseld, Robert Parrish, Alonzo Mourning. These guys are Hall of Famers. Like, some of them are no doubt Hall of Famers, right? Like, Robert Parrish, even if he doesn't have the all-time games played record, is a Hall of Famer. Alonzo Mourning, nailed on, Hall of Famer. Dikembe Mutombo. Anyone disagreeing that he's a Hall of Famer? Like, and so that's what you stack his career up against for 17 years. And you're like, maybe he is a Hall of Famer if he's matching up with these guys. Because, like, you know, I wasn't there for a lot of these guys' careers, but just knowing the game and knowing kind of the history of it, there were certainly times where you didn't think Vlade Divac was a nailed-on Hall of Famer, or Jack Sikma, nailed-on Hall of Famer. Like, there's parts of their careers that you're thinking, no, good player, not great. And then they make the Hall of Fame, because that's what basketball does. So I think Al Horford is going to make the Hall of Fame. And if the Celtics win it again this year and he ends his career on back-to-back NBA championships, I don't think there's much doubt that he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. Which is crazy, because I know this is comparing across sports here, but for those of us Boston fans, like, Julian Edelman for the Patriots is a Hall of Very Good player. He was a nice player who was great for that offense, for that quarterback, was very clutch, obviously big for them in the postseason, probably more clutch in the postseason than Al Horford has been, but kind of that same plane of, like, he's always there, he's always dependable, people keep doubting him, and he's perfect for this team. Good teams. And Julian Edelman is not going to come close to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He never even made a Pro Bowl. But that's the difference between football and basketball. Al Horford's going to make it. He's going to make it. And if he deserves it, that remains to be seen. He's deserved every good thing that's come to him in his career. I'll say that. Right? The guy handles himself with class. He's been through some tough situations in the NBA. He's always a hard worker. He's very unselfish. He's a good leader on these teams. He has accepted his role extremely well with the Celtics, by the way. I think that really kind of goes unnoticed. Like, the Celtics, when they got him back, that was not a popular move. It was like, really? You traded Kemba and a first-round pick just to get Al Horford? Like, what is he going to give you? He's been rotting on the bench. And more importantly, he comes into that team as a guy who played with a lot of those guys. You know, he was only, 3 years removed. So he had played with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart. And he was the veteran guy when he was there before. He was the max contract veteran guy. And now suddenly he has to go into a role where he's deferring to these guys. He's still got to have some leadership qualities, but it's Jason Tatum's team. It's Jaylen Brown's team. And he's handled that extremely well. So from a Celtics standpoint, we love him to death. And we'll be happy to see that happens. But I think there's real doubt on whether he should be in the Hall of Fame until you look at the guys he's compared to. And you think of what the Basketball Hall of Fame actually is looking for. And in that case, yeah, Al Horford is a Hall of Famer. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. Like, is Al Horford a Hall of Famer? Please let me know. And why or why not? Please. Also, like the video. Subscribe to the channel. We're bringing you Boston sports content 5 days a week live on YouTube. So if you ring that notification bell, you'll get notified every time we're going live on YouTube. And then after that, it's going to be segments on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.